Welcome back! How have you been? Because I've been good here, and I believe my partner too has been good.
Yeah, I've been great.
So, we are welcome back to Afternoon Vibes. We miss you.
Yeah.
I miss you.
Same here. It's been a long
time. Yeah, we hope you've been good. We thank God because we are alive to see today again. We are alive to see ourselves. We are alive to be seen. Glory be to God. Yes, today again we are back to tell you that we have another topic for you. You know that we are always giving you hot. So today we are going to give you another topic. But before I say the topic, my name is Akinwale Deborah. For you that is coming newly, my partner here is
Shayo John Adebayo.
Right. So our topic is self-mastery. Self-mastery. Think about it, because you will need to communicate while this goes on. We'll be right back.
Yeah, welcome back.
Welcome back.
As Debbie rightly said, today we are talking about self-mastery. Yeah, this is a very, very wonderful topic. It's a topic that, we can talk about, for the rest of today. Like, it's very broad, very wide and deep. Yes, and very vital at the same time. So what do we mean by self-mastery? Self-mastery. Okay. Like a dictionary put it, the act of mastering
yourself.
Yes, in another way you can say, understanding yourself. Another way, self-awareness.
Being a master of yourself, like being a master of who you are.
Yes.
Controlling yourself.
Yes.
It's when they say somebody has a master degree in a course, the person has mastered the course enough.
Yes.
To be able to act it, or to be able to live that thing he has mastered. So it's about mastering yourself, mastering who you are.
Yes. Entity called man is a course that
cannot finish.
And the truth is the extent to which you understand yourself, the extent to which you have mastered yourself determines how well you will do in life.
Very true.
You understand? You can't do better than how much of yourself you know. And it's a pity that a larger percentage of people in the world today just live life, desires or impulses, self-control, self-discipline, and all of that. So self-awareness is the capacity, to look inward. Okay, let's put it this way. When we talk about self, I'll be interchanging. I'll be using self-awareness and self-mastery, yes. So it has to do more with, because when we talk about man is essentially a spirit. So when we say spirit is something we cannot see with the physical eye. So definitely it has to do with something inward, something internal, because this physical body we see is just the house we live in. So if we're talking about self-mastery, it means we have to look beyond this physical body. We have to look inwards. So self-mastery, a larger part of this discussion will be internal, inwards. And when we're talking about, understanding your emotions, how you respond to situations, your weaknesses, your strength, everything is internal. The internal controls the external, as we've always known. So self-mastery now, you know, there was something they taught us in secondary school, the SWOT analysis. SWOT, strength, weakness, opportunity, threat. But before we go further, have you ever at any point in time sat down to even, you know, meditate and ponder on who am I? Like this me, maybe your name is Dakbona or your name is James. This James, who is James? Because that's where it starts from actually. Because if you have never seen it from that perspective, you'll never understand, or you never see the reason why we're talking about self-mastery.
I even think we should even start with, why should we know who we are? Because, well, everybody has been living his life, and some don't even know who they are, and it's, in a way, it looks like it does not make any difference. So why should I now take the responsibility of knowing who I am? Why should you know who you are? Because it's, sometimes we talk about purpose, that aligns us to fulfilling purpose. Because if you don't know who you are, you won't even know what you came to this world to do. It goes further than just knowing that I can be angry here, I can be this here. It makes you to know what to focus on in life. It makes you to know who you are meant to, what to focus on in about your weaknesses, or about the threats on your life, or not the external threats now, but threats on who you are or where you're going. Because if you think that you are going somewhere, and you don't know that you have a tendency that can make you not get there, you won't know that you're meant to work on it. So that makes you know what you have that is liable to where you're going. And if you don't have those things, you know that you're meant to acquire those things for where you're going. If not, we might not get there. It might just look like a struggle, and it feels like village people are against us.
Yes, you know, like the popular saying that when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable.
Yeah, abuse it.
The truth is, you did not just appear on planet Earth.
Exactly.
God knows about your appearing. And you know, God does not live in time. You know, God does not live in time. As far as God is concerned, there's nothing like time. He's past, present, future at the same time. You know, he's just eternal God. At the same time, he's eternally present. Hey, that's you understand? So God knows that you're going to come, you know, you're going to come to planet Earth at the time you came. He knows when you're living. He knows when we are all living. But the truth is, there's a purpose for your life. There's a reason why you are here. And if you don't understand yourself, if you don't know your strengths, you don't know, there's some unique things about you. We are all different, about 7 billion people on the planet Earth, and we're not the same.
Yeah.
Even though you might have your look-alike, but the truth is you are intrinsically different from every other person.
Intrinsically.
Check
your dictionary.
So the question now is, what makes me different from another person? What are the unique things about me? Because God has given everybody uniqueness, gifts. So, you know, you need to discover these things. You know, that's how you know exactly what you are meant to do here on earth. And that's how you know what the world expects from you. Because when you appear, there's an expectation. The Bible says oh, congratulations, a new baby is born, a new boy is born, a new girl is born. There's an expectation from the universe already. The lives and destinies you are meant to impact, you know, they are all expecting. So now we get to, you know, when they give birth to us, you know, the society, you know, begin to shape us. They, you know, start from the family. You understand?
Yeah.
It depends on how enlightened your family is. Life they want you to live, and then you grow with that, you know, to maybe about 10, 12 years, 13 years.
Even before then, you're going to primary school.
Oh,
children from other schools to act some ways, and you feel like you like the way this person is acting, you start to act like that.
Yes.
You see that okay, now I see some children that you hear, this boy just brought this one from school, that he was not doing like this before. And I have a neighbor that have children, and they always, sometimes you just hear that he has started sucking his lips. It's because I'm sure he has a friend and when you ask him, he will say, it's my friend that does it. So over time, we get to acquire things that we did not intentionally acquire. Either there or we saw somebody do it or something, start acting that way, and sometimes we don't even know how we got to act that way. So we need to actually come inside to see now what is that thing that I need to bring out of what I've learned from life.
Yes.
And what are those things that we need to take in from what I've learned from what I'm learning now from life.
Yes, and that brings us to the place of knowledge. Because while you are growing up, all of these things are growing with you. You understand? All these things you have acquired here and there from friends, peer pressure, family, society, media. You understand? Church. You understand? Imagine, look at some doctrines we used to have in the church then. Don't do this, don't do that. You know, all of those things put together make up the that you are presently.
Yeah.
You understand? But there's a greater you, there's a bigger you, there's a deeper you in you. There's more to you than, in fact, the you think you know is not the real you.
I'm not even saying you.
Yes, yeah, I like that. You have not seen you. This is the truth, though. It sounds very simple, but that is just the truth. That's why you need to, take time and travel deep within, and that's where knowledge comes in, you understand? Because if you don't have the right knowledge, okay, what do I do now? This I should sit down and think, what should I think? And that's where knowledge comes in. You need to get, knowledge. You need to get books, you understand, that will really help you to discover who you are. But of course, for the purpose of this show, we're still going to say something. You want to say something?
Still in the energy of knowing who you are, or rather knowing the reason you should know who you are. Have you in any time or at any time seen anybody that you wonder, how does this person master this strength of his? You will see, you were telling me about somebody that anytime he's listening to something or watching something, it will tell them to stop at some point. Maybe it will tell them, my mind
can create
that thing.
Reality, yes.
So he is watchful of what his mind receives because he knows the strengths and weaknesses of his mind. That is because he has learned to understand who he is to the barest minimum. He knows what little thing can trigger a great thing. What if you don't learn who you are, anything will go. And you will not even know when something wrong has been. It's like a computer system. You will not know when virus has come in because you don't even know how the virus is possible to come in. I don't know if that English is correct. The tendency of the virus coming in, you don't even know it because you don't even know who you are in the first place. So learn your strengths, like the SWOT analysis you're talking about. Learning your strengths will help you maximize what you have. Learning your weaknesses will know what you're meant to focus on, to learn better at, or to get better at, or the things that you're meant to drop and focus on the strength that you have, the opportunities that you have so that you know what to grasp, the threats so that you even know what to move away from so that it will not block your opportunities. All those things are things you're meant to learn from who we are.
Yes, and we were talking about, Anne and Debbie were discussing before the show started, that we're talking about your experiences, because we need to begin to pay our attention to our experiences. We need to begin to pay attention to how we respond to situations.
The bad and the ugly experiences.
Yes, so because we're talking about how to understand yourself, how to know your strengths. You understand your weakness. Okay, I'm weak in this area. I'm strong in this area. So you need to begin to pay attention to yourself now. How do you respond to situations? When something happens, are you always fearful? Is that the first reaction? Do you fear immediately, or you are bold, or you are courageous? So all of these things are the beginning steps, or the first phase of the journey to understanding yourself. These are the peripheral before we now get to the deeper.
With the experiences you're talking about, don't be quick to give excuses. Don't. Okay, like something triggered you to be scared, and at the end you feel like, no, and I would have not been scared. It was because don't go in first and see why you were scared. Has it happened before? What scenario made it happen? Okay, now I know that I'm very fearful. How can I work on it? Is it anger? Is it being talkative? Okay, they say it's not being a talkative. Being talkative. Being whatever it is that can trigger a tendency in you. Watch it. Don't always be quick to give excuses. Don't always be quick to give the blame to the other person. To push the blame. Always learn to firstly go inwards. I think it will help our response. It will help us to take time to respond to things than responding so quick. You will know if you were the one that had the tendency, you were the one that were in the wrong, you were the one. It will help you to be better and help you to now respond to the other person.
All right, so we'll be going on a very short break now, a musical break. And then when we come back, we're going to be looking at some characters in the Bible and even in our generation, you understand? Because some of these things have played out in the Bible. We have scenarios in the Bible, you understand, of different people, how they were able to master themselves and the impact it had on their lives. So we'll be going on a musical break. Sure you're enjoying the conversation. So when we come back, we'll continue. Enjoy this music. We'll be right back.
It's TND Records.
Yeah, it's your boy, Adam Evangelist, oh yeah. And it be so that my God, you, only you are my heart desire. Now I can cool or quench the fire I get for you, yeah. Sake of you, I get the power to make, unmake, just like the way they operate. Hey, I feel something for body. I feel special. Without you, it's never like this. You don't change my story. If I leave today or tomorrow, so I holla, then so trouble. So for your body, I go day. Saute. 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 'Cause nobody can give me. Nobody can give me. Nobody can give me that feeling when I fall when I'm with you. Nobody can give me. Nobody can give me. Nobody can give me that feeling when I fall when I'm with you. Only you got solutions to my problems. Yeah, that's why I love it in your presence. 'Cause only you can give me what I need more. And even when I offend you, the way they show me my love, they make I feel something for body. I feel special. Without you, it's the peace. You don't change my story. Probably today or tomorrow. So I holla, then so for your body, I go day. Saute. For your body, I go day. Saute. For your body, I go day. Saute. Body, I go day. Saute. 'Cause nobody can give me. Nobody can give me. That feeling when I fall. Nobody can give me. Nobody can give me. Nobody can give me that feeling when I fall when I'm with you. I'm so grateful, 'cause this feeling I'm feeling inside is so special. Will only make sense.
Welcome back.
So
I would like to start to come from the angle of focus, like we were saying before. It's good you focus on. Okay, starting from the phrase or the sentence, everything matters. So when you notice that, when you know that everything matters, even in your joke, you focus on tendencies. You focus on what you did, what you are doing, what you will do. So it makes you know who you exactly are. Focus on the things that you do when you are not thinking. That is actually who you are. Because when you are doing something, unconsciously or subconsciously, it shows what you will do when you are not thinking. That is who you actually are. When you can think about it, sometimes you can think of, you can intentionally pretend, you can intentionally act because someone else is there, but you are not thinking and you acted. Don't say, I did it because I was not thinking. No, focus on that thing because it's a tendency that is who you are. So let your focus be sharpened now. Because you want to know better who you are. You can give yourself a space of 3 months or something. Though we know ourselves throughout life. Because this might be the first time you're trying to do this. Give yourself a 3 months how I act on every situation. Maybe food came late. What happened? Was I angry? Was I? It's not a thing that, okay, let's say you're unmarried now and you have those tendencies. I need to say that it's a lie because I was angry from work before. Or you just push your reasons to some other things. Then when you not get married, then it was never like this before. You did not just notice who you were. So it's a thing that you need to focus on everything. Maybe I'm looking for the tiniest thing. Maybe your younger one shouted at you and you just snapped and immediately and you broke something and you felt like no, it was a mistake. Be sure that it was a mistake. Focus on that thing that actually happened. Decipher everything. Remove the people that were at fault and see yourself in that situation, even if those people were not there, or if that thing that you thought will help you. Remove everything, remove everybody, remove every situation, and see you in all things, so that even when bigger things happen in future, you would have noticed that the tendency was there. in case you are somebody that, God forbid, a woman beater, you might have been very angry that maybe you have slapped your younger sister before or something, but it felt because she was your younger sister. Or because she actually got you angry. You will not notice that you actually have a tendency to be an angry person. Or you're actually an angry person. So when the thing comes, you now feel like you've never done this before. You don't know how this came about. It's because you never watched it. So many other things happen around life, even as a boss, like yesterday's trend that we're talking about bosses. We too have our tendencies that we might not have focused on because we have not received power. When you have that power, how are you going to handle it? So we should not just focus on people that have gotten to that place. Now you have not gotten there. What tendencies do you have that when you get there, you are going to manifest?
Yeah, very, very true, very true. And talking about, I said we're going to look at some characters in the Bible. Let me pick it from anger. Moses, of course, the Bible said he was the meekest man on earth. But Moses had a challenge. He had an issue with anger, and it played out first when he was trying to defend a fellow Israelite, and he killed the Egyptian. Actually he couldn't have, done that, but the anger, was there. So I guess Moses didn't pay attention to that tendency. So until fast forward now, the first time, I think the next time the anger came again was when he went to the mountain and spent 40 days with God.
Okay.
Came with the stone.
Was that before he struck the rock?
Was that before? I can't even
Either
remember.
of them.
Either of them. You understand? So, and he came down from the mountain, and the children of Israel were already dancing around an idol, and the anger, something is, he suffered for it for 40 days. He broke it, and another time again, the anger played out. And, self-mastery is very important. It cuts across every aspect of our lives, even to fulfill destiny, even to, to be the best, in what God has called you to do, to fulfill destiny, to fulfill your purpose. Now, that anger played out again when God told Moses, just use the rod to touch the rock, and then out of anger he struck it, I think 3 times. And God said, oh, I think this was the latter one.
Yeah,
God
okay,
said,
I guess I was not going to get to the promised land.
And the same man that was testified of as the meekest man on earth.
Right.
And God is not a partial God. He will not say because I love you, he will give you a size. And God said, oh yeah, come to the mountain. God showed him the land flowing with milk and honey, but you will not get there. Now, what hindered Moses from getting to the promised land? That same anger. So in the same, and this is just one aspect. So in the same vein, there's something in you, there's something in me, there's an area, there's something subtle, probably you or I have not been paying attention to. So that's why we need to take time to really study ourselves. What am I, like Debbie said earlier, what are my tendencies? Pay attention to how you respond. There's some people naturally, they're like, I think God helps me. I'm good at studying people, and I relate with people according to how they are. Exactly. I think I've observed. That's observing myself. So sometimes I hardly have issues with people, though it comes about. It will. The person will have. Even the person will have
try.
Because there are some people now, they are more internal, that they don't talk. Like me, I think I don't have issues, but there are some people, they would keep whatever is, you will not even know what they are thinking. Now, people like that now, someone like that going into a relationship now, the person must understand, okay, this is who I am. And the spouse coming into the picture too must understand, okay, this lady or this guy, this is how he is. Because you might be expecting, okay, you should talk. You should let me know what you're feeling, this and that. But he or she might not just be like that. So, and that, even though God has said they were ordained for each other, that can just be the basis for problem in that relationship.
An example is me. So before, I used to be somebody that when you offend me, I don't know how to say it. So I'll keep it to myself. It can hurt me, it can make me cry, but I'm not going to say it. And it can even make me create a distance with the person so that it's not going to happen again if I cannot say it. So I realized that, and I used to hear things about marriages, lack of communication and all. So I went internally and I was like, now I know that this is a problem. I don't need to get there before I start to work on it. So I started, that was why you said that. So I started, if something happens now, if I cannot forget about it, I say it. So that I know, now I know that I'm more expressive. Yes. So now I'm more expressive on that note.
Okay.
Somebody still offended me, was it last week? I'm still ruminating on how I'm going to say it. I may take a while so that I don't offend the person and how to say it, but I'm going to say it. I might just, maybe Holy Spirit, how am I going to, so that this will not be offensive, but that I will not say it is a lie. So it's more of working on the weakness I saw that I have, and I'm now out of it. It's now becoming a strength for me.
That's where the blunt aspect came from. Oh, that's great. All right, so that was for Moses, and then another character, biblical character, is Joseph. Joseph, oh, what a great man, you know. He understood who he was. You understand? Of course, God gave him a picture of his future, and you know, the day he said it out, problem started. You know, his brothers conspired against him. They did all they could. They threw him in the pit.
But it's actually Nico.
Of course.
Man.
You know, threw him in the pit, from there sold him to slavery. You know, he went through everything, but I believe there was something deeper that Joseph was aware about.
Yeah.
He knew who he was
And where he was going.
Yes, he knew he was not going to stay longer in that palace. Even when he was able to interpret the dream to one of them, he said, "Please, when you are going, please remember to speak well about me in the presence of the king," because he knows that I'm not, going to end here. There's something bigger. There's something more.
I think that brings us to our experiences. We should not just sit down with our experiences. When you know where you're going to, you'll be able to take what you can learn from an experience and drop the remaining. Yes. So he was not depressed in the prison like we would have been in this our generation. He was not, he didn't start to have issues with people, grumble around, say I'm not meant to be here. I know where I'm coming from. You people that, he didn't even make enemies. You don't get very expensive clothes. So I'm not you people's level. He related with them. I'm sure he would have learned one or two things from them. He made sure he got something from his experience and was ready to, he did not know how soon where he was going to war. Weaknesses and everything was enough for where he was going because he took time to learn through the process. Learn through your process.
Learn through your process. And there's something we're going to talk about after this, but just one more character in the Bible. David, the servant with the 1 talent, that parable of talents that Jesus gave. He gave one 5 talents, another 2 talents, another 1 talent. And then the one with the 5 talents went to trade with the 5 talents and got 5 more. The one with the 2 went to trade, got 2 more. The one with the 1 talent, he said, why will he give me 1? He gave others 2, gave others 5. Yes. And they went to bury the talent. Meanwhile, Jesus gave him what his capacity could carry. So, but he still, even with that one, he still showed that his capacity did not carry 1 at all. Now, we're talking about self-mastery, knowing who you are. Now, of course, there's no other person, no better person that knows you than God and you. Jesus knows their capacity. He knows that your capacity is not, you have not built capacity more than 1. Now, eventually, he messed up the whole process. Now, in the same vein, and this is the aspect that we're taking it to now, taking the discussion to now. In the same vein, we started with God has given us resources. God has deposited so many things in us, and He expects a dividend, a returns. He expects us to come to the planet Earth and to maximize everything He has put in us, to live a beautiful life, a life that glorifies Him, to fulfill His purpose. Because when we're actually living a glorious life, it honors God. It makes God happy because we are the works of His hands. So that's one servant that was given 1 talent and buried it. The truth is there are so many people in the category of that servant with the 1 talent today. Some, I guess, as a result of ignorance, like there's nothing special about me. I don't even have anything to offer. And that's a lie. That's what society has told you. That's what the devil has told you. That's what your experiences so far has told you. That's whatever you have allowed to shape your perception about you have told you, and that's a lie. There's much more to you than you know. And then, of course, because we need to begin to round off gradually, there's much more to you than you know. That's where knowledge comes in. That's where knowledge comes in. Now, the question is, how committed are you to reading? I mean, reading good books, books that would help you discover more about life, books that will help you discover more about who you are. There's so many authors, there's so many people that have experienced the same thing you're experiencing. There's so many people that have passed through the level you are in presently, and God has brought them through that, and there was a process God took them through, and they've put all of the experiences in a book. So, and then you've been suffering on that same level, trying to find who you are, know who you are, understand who you are, and then you're just there, years is passing. When the solution is just in one 30-chapter book. So you need to commit to learning, because at the duration of time we have for this show and discussion is not enough to cover all that is to be said concerning this topic. So, but you need to, once you take it seriously, go for books. You understand? We can actually drop some, maybe we can recommend some books on our social media platform. You understand? So go and get books on, you know, self-mastery, self-discovery, and books about understanding yourself, understanding purpose by Miles Monroe. And if you are not good at reading, you don't like reading, there are videos on YouTube. Just type it on YouTube, understanding myself, understanding purpose. You understand? Self-mastery. You just put it there. It will bring all kinds of videos, and then you select. So the more you begin to expose your mind to those knowledge, now it will begin to come into your mind and shaping your thoughts. It will change the old picture, the old thoughts you've always had, the old knowledge that you've had. It will begin to change it. And once the change begins to take place internally, it will reflect in your outer world.
I would like that we maximize the opportunity of every position that we can have. I mean, if there's an opportunity to be a leader somewhere, maybe you are in the university and they are looking for a class rep, accept to be one. That can make you see the strength that you have, the weakness, the whatever that you have as a leader. It will make you to know what you need to work on, what you know that you need to focus on. So even if it is in church, maybe you need to be a worker in a place, anywhere you can volunteer yourself. If you are collecting money, it's a thing that you might not notice. Well, you might, but if it is a voluntary thing that you have the focus and get frustrated when people are not doing well. Let me see how much I can be. Let me see what I can do. Where my limit is in tolerating people. All those things are seen when the experience happens. If there's no experience, you might not know that you can't.
Yes.
So that's why you need an event when there's volunteer to do one or two things to make you to see who you are better.
For instance, let me just quickly share this. Of course, not to, I'm privileged to be a music director.
Thank you.
As a music, there's one common thing that I've seen with many music directors is issue with their temperament.
Right.
Virtually all the music directors I've seen, what is that? They're always expressive, and I saw that I had that too. Like,
right.
In fact, the words sometimes I've used words that people will be crying.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. And I had to now, and it's not like I wanted to say,
right.
It's just the passion. You said, no, why would you do this?
And the tendency just snuck out.
And what I later discovered that, man, this is not just passion, this is anger issue. And the height of it was when, I said something and somebody was crying. For that even happened like 2 or 3 times at different times, in different places, or not just one place, So I had to now, I need to, work on this. If I had to pray, I had to pray to God, like, God, just help me. And then after the prayer, I became more conscious about it. So God helped me to a point that even people now started coming back to my weight. Like,
you have changed.
Because people know that ordinarily, you understand?
Hot.
You understand? So the day I knew that God has really helped me was we had a rehearsal. I wanted to do a very, great song. The song had so many dynamisms and all of that. Normally in that kind of rehearsal, it would be so up, but I was calm. Even people that were not getting their part, I was, no, that's not it.
Oh, yeah.
So at the end, people started, wow, this is a new, and
always receive feedback.
They're
ready to receive feedback.
Thank you very much.
People see you outside than you see yourself. That is very true. So like him now, aside the fact that he knew that he was angry by himself, he could hear that he was getting better from other people.
People even told me, people called me, brother, so you need to work. Take this easy.
So don't be somebody that always, when someone tells you your weakness or something, you are ready to snap back. That no, that's not what it is, or why would you be talking to me like that? Even if the person says it in the wrong manner, like we said, pick what you need to learn from an experience and drop the rest. All
right, let's begin to what now? Round off gradually. I'm almost rounding off now. So, because like I said, there's a lot more to be said than we can, but you can help yourself. This discussion is just to open your eyes to the fact that there's a lot you need to know about yourself that you don't
Sorry.
know. Okay.
So because you see that something is a weakness, you feel like I cannot attain the strength of that thing. It's the devil and society that makes us to feel like that. Sometimes we just feel like, that's who I am, I cannot get better. Firstly, for you to think that you need to get better at something shows that you can get better. It is what it is. So first work on your mind to know that you can do this. And always stay constant with it. Even when any weakness shows up again, come back to the realization that you can do this. Then
I can overcome it.
Think you can overcome this. So the more it resonates in your mind, the more it motivates you to focus on getting that thing done. And be sure that sooner or later, don't look at how long it takes. Because it took you a long time to get here too. It took you a long time to learn that thing that you're calling weakness, or to be that kind of person. So be ready to take that length. Don't even look at the time. Just be intentional about getting better daily and be sure that you're going to get there.
So if we're going to put a label to the journey of self-discovery, I would say you need to unlearn.
Yes, so
then you need to learn and relearn. So unlearn means you need to unlearn all the things you have acquired, all the things society, parents, family, all your experiences, all, because we are all sum total of all of these things. And we need to break free from them. That's when you really discover that, wow, there's a more unique me than I did not know all this while. But because we are just so, worked up with distractions everywhere, so we don't even know there's anything. So there's much more to you. So you need to unlearn those things. Then now learn, you understand, then relearn, you understand? So all of that, knowledge will take care of that. So you need to commit to knowledge. Even the Bible says, who said it? Daniel. Say, Daniel, understood by books.
Right.
So it has been said that readers are leaders. So you need to, and it has been easy now. So if you cannot read, you can do audio. You understand?
Very,
you can do,
very important.
Just put the earpiece.
While you're driving, you can do that.
Yes.
While you're working at home, you can do it.
Yes, you can watch YouTube videos, you understand?
Yeah.
Just, help yourself. When you begin to expose yourself to knowledge from people, from great teachers, from scholars, you begin to discover things. You'll be so surprised that, wow, you'll be surprised, like literally surprised at many things you did not know, which you ought to have known. But it's never too late. It's never too late. There's a lot more that we're expecting from you, the world. When I say we, I mean the world. So there's a lot more. It's beyond the salary you are, earning, and of course you might think you are averagely fine. Like of course I'm okay. I have a family. But there's much more. The truth is we are interconnected. We are interwoven. Our lives and destinies are interconnected. So there are some things about yourself that if you don't know, it will affect some other people in some way. Okay, for instance, look at, I don't want to use that the but let me use him. Imagine he didn't discover himself. He wanted to be, look at that, he wanted to be what? The youngest vice chancellor. And it was actually brilliant, and he would achieve it, But God had different, purpose for him. You understand? But look at what happened. So if he did not discover this new calling, look at how many destinies that God has used him to bless. So they will have suffered. Some of them might still find help, but it might be later in life. So our life, there's much more to us. It's beyond you. My life is beyond me. I'm not just living for myself. You're not just living for yourself. You are here to fulfill a purpose. You are here to meet a need. So, but you need, first of all, to break free from all that you are not, because there are a lot you are not.
That you think you are.
Yes. Can I say that again? There are a lot that, this is very true.
Jot things down.
Yes. There are a lot that you are not that you think you are. So you need to start the process now. That is, if you have not started already, start the process now. Read books. Just go online. Just go online. And you can chat us, you understand, and we can, talk. I can recommend some materials, some books, some videos, which will help you. Some of us are still, in fact, we are still in the process of...
Everybody is.
You understand? Transforming.
It's just how much of yourself that you already know.
Exactly.
But we are still in the process.
Once you begin to transform, it will reflect in everything you do, every aspect of your life.
Sorry, closing, I'd like to God. Because he continued focusing on God, God had to show him who he was against the mask of being a stammerer or being a jittery person. He saw himself. Even somebody, is it David, or people actually saw themselves in the place of knowing God. Even David saw himself as a leader in the place of, he would have just forgotten himself as somebody that was tending sheep. He would have felt like he was dejected. But because he was relating with God in that place, he knew more of God. He grew in God even in the bush, in that dejected place. He saw his leadership traits. Even if you read Psalms, you will see that he actually saw his leadership traits in that place that he was. So while you continue to know God, you see yourself.
Yeah, so that's where we ended today. In fact, that was what the Spirit is one, actually. That's why, because that's where we're going to end it, because there's no knowing yourself without knowing God, the Creator. So the more of God you know, the more of yourself you know. So, get closer to the Word. We're in the end time already. So it's not even the time where anybody should even joke with his life. It's the time where everybody should get serious, because things will get, I don't want to...
Yes, that's the truth. Read your Bible.
Go and read your Bible. So many more things will still happen.
It takes knowing God.
It takes knowing God and knowing, what you believe.
Yes.
And so time will come that you might not have the time to study the Word, because the news you are hearing itself would,
Yes.
So use the time you have now to build yourself in faith in God and be strong in prayers, in studying the Word. So the more of all of these things the more of, the Bible says in 2 Corinthians 3:18, it says, but we all with an open face, beholding as in a glass the glory of the Lord, we are changed into the same image from glory to glory. So get serious with your life, get serious with your work with God, get serious with your Creator, get serious with God. That's just the summary. So once you focus on God, naturally, consciously or unconsciously, you get to know more about yourself.
Start to shed some things that you need to shed.
Yes, those are the weights. So the more you do that, the more you discover yourself, the more you discover your reason for living.
Yeah.
So I think we need to end it here.
I hope you got something today. I did get something.
Of course, I did too. And you can, of course, watch you can go back to our YouTube channel. If you're watching this on TV, go back to our YouTube channel. The video will be there. Watch it again. If I actually do that, most of the time.
Internalize it.
Exactly, internalize it and put to practice all that way.
You can give us feedback, maybe on YouTube or something. We'd like to hear back from you.
Yes. And you can also share your experience with us. So we'll wrap it here today. By the grace of God, if the Lord tarries, we'll be here again tomorrow for another great episode of Afternoon Vibes. There's another topic we have tomorrow, but let's not talk about it now. So my name is Makinwale. Oh, sorry.
I'll say your own.
My name is Shayo John Adebayo.
I'm Makinwale Deborah.
Don't forget, we love you so much. Keep watching RTM. Bye.
We love you.
Hapa nilipofika sijui nimefikaje, vita vilinipiga kwani kuliendaje, lakini